Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Eat at Kurt's with me. I am Kurt, and today we're going to venture into the wonderful world of barbecue and smoked meats. It is the middle of summer. 4th of July is coming right up in a couple of days. We should probably be smoking some meats, especially because on our last episode we just made barbecue sauce from scratch. So we need something to put that barbecue sauce on. Yes, the world of barbecue and smoked meats is a very long, deep, and complex rabbit hole to go down, but we're not gonna go all the way down that rabbit hole today. We're gonna start on the surface. We're gonna make a smoked spatchcock chicken, which is gonna be every bit as delicious as every other or almost any other recipe that you can make on your smoker. And it doesn't require you to wake up at 3 a.m. and start your smoker and spend the entire day smoking and checking on your meat. This is an incredibly simple recipe that only takes a couple of hours to accomplish. So go ahead, get your hike, your paddle boards, your skiing and snowboarding session in the morning. Come home. My favorite thing to do after a busy morning is to come home, smoke some chicken on the smoker. I'll show you how. Let's do it. So we are going to take this lovely chicken and we are going to spatchcock this, otherwise known as butterflying this. So you're gonna get some kitchen shears, or you can also use like a serrated knife for this too and kind of saw it. But you're gonna find the spine of the chicken, which runs right down here, and you're gonna cut on either side of the spine. And just cut right down the spine. There's one side. Now I'm gonna find the other side of the spine just by looking at this. And cut right up. You should be able to see it. And if you need to, too, you can like kind of draw a line, you know, with a knife and like kind of like pre-cut it like that. See how the skin is separating and I'm kind of like making myself a guideline like that. You can also do that if that's helpful as well. And simply remove this. And there's lots of stuff that you can do with this. Check out the Resolutioner's Chicken Dinner if you want to know how to make chicken stock with that. I recommend saving that. And so then the last thing that you do before you lay this out flat is I like to take my shears or whatever, make like a small little incision right here, which acts as like this guideline to break this little sternum here. So that way when you go to lay this down flat, kind of break it by flipping it and butterflying it and laying it out flat like that. And that is it. That is our spatchcock chicken. Hang on, I'll turn around for you. For our viewers. And that's it. That's what you're looking for with this spatchcock chicken is you want to take this big, cold, hollow ball of meat and you just want to cut out the piece of it that has as little meat as possible, which is indeed the spine, and lay it down flat so that way this cooks much more evenly and it cooks a lot more quickly too. All right, so I like to cut off these wingtips because there's really no meat on them. The trick here is to get these guys' skin nice and crispy on the smoker. And so the way to do that is by increasing the exposure of all the surface areas of the skin, or as much surface areas of the skin as possible, getting them exposed to the hot air in that smoker and not like, you know, stuck behind these little wingtips. Okay, now we're gonna use a little technique called the last minute dry brine. I told you this was gonna be a quick and easy recipe, and that's because it is quick and easy and you don't have to like prepare these chickens the night before. I recommend dry brining this, even if you only have like 45 minutes to an hour to dry brine them for. What we're really just going for is getting this chicken nice and crispy, and we're gonna be putting salt on this skin no matter what. So let's go ahead and just apply that first. The way that we get started for this, of course, is to pat the skin dry. Pat the skin as dry as possible with a paper towel. And then plain and simple, we're gonna apply salt. And we're gonna let these guys just kind of sit and soak in the salt. I think this even technically like qualifies as indirect cooking. as opposed to smoking. But you're gonna get the smoker going. We are aiming for a temperature of like 350 degrees for today's cook. The key to having crispy skin through the cooking process is to use a higher heat, not super low and slow, because below a certain temperature, I think like in the high 200s, the fats in the skin don't render properly and you end up getting rubbery skin. So I always like to use a higher temperature, slightly higher temperature, like 325 to 375, in that range is what we're gonna be going for using the wood on the smoker, just for an average temperature of around like 350. The smoker outside is rolling and it is almost ready for these bad boys. So we're gonna season these. Check out the link in the description for the exact ingredients for this spice rub, but overall it consists of chili powder, paprika, cumin, coriander, a little bit of salt, because remember we already salted these guys, and pepper. Finally, just a little bit of oil. Get this seasoning nice and wet, get it like kind of painted on evenly. I'm gonna use avocado oil, but use whatever oil you want. If applicable, get out your handy dandy meter probes and insert those. I like to go down and into the breast meat, and I like to try to stay like along the ribs, the rib meat. And here they are, our ready for the smoker, fully prepared with their meat thermometer probes in them, ready to go. These are our ready for the smoker spatchcock chickens. Let's go. When you put these guys on, put them on with the breast facing towards the fire. Let it go to work. So for the first half of this cook, I usually like to just skip the sauce and give it a little bit of oil, because it allows it to absorb more of the smoky flavor from the grill. Okay, so we're gonna do one of these chickens barbecue, one of these chickens plain. And remember to separate this, be mindful of cross-contamination, because these chickens are still not fully cooked yet. And start brushing. All right, chicken number one is done. Ready to come off. This guy right here. This guy right here, our barbecue bird, needs a couple more minutes, so we're gonna give a couple more minutes and one more brush to our barbecue bird. On this side, we have our dry rubbed and oil brushed smoked chicken. And on this side, we have our dry rubbed, oil brushed and barbecue sauce brushed chicken. These things are gonna rest and we'll cut into them shortly. My favorite thing to do with this is to make 2 chickens at once. And then once you're done eating dinner, pull all the chicken off and keep pulled smoked chicken as leftovers throughout the entire week. And this is it. Our 2 broken down feasts before us. So we have our 2 chickens right here, the barbecue sauce brushed and the dry rub chicken. 2 beautiful feasts before us. Haley! All right, so cheers. This is it. This is the final product. This is what we've got. What are you doing first? The dry rub?
Yeah. Dry rub wing.
That's the dry rub. I'll do the chicken drumstick, the chicken barbecue drumstick. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mmm. The sauce is incredible, but really what it comes down to is like the cook method. When you use real wood to smoke your chicken at the right temperature, get crispy, delicious skin like this, it really cannot go wrong. Once we put it on the smoker, it really only took about 2 hours to smoke. So really easy, really quick and simple smoker recipe to use. Do the smoked spatchcock chicken. We're gonna go eat as much of this as we can. I am Kurt. Thank you. Please come again.